Hello! Thank you for your interest in HPD's Housing Choice Voucher Program, also known as Section 8. This video series will show you how to complete HPD's owner package. Submitting the owner package is the first step for owners enrolling in the program when they have tenants that are Housing Choice Voucher Program participants ready to move into their units. It collects information about the owners and their units that are available for rent to confirm they qualify for HPD's Housing Choice Voucher Program. This video will cover how to complete pages 7 and 8 of the owner package, which request unit and building information as well as information about the owner. HPD uses the information requested in these pages to verify both the owner and unit's eligibility for the HCV program and to confirm you've submitted all required supporting documents along with your completed owner package. First, provide the name of the prospective tenant that participates in the HCV program. Then, you'll provide the address of the unit to be rented by that prospective or current tenant. List the street address, apartment number, borough, and zip code of the unit. If the unit's building belongs to a larger development or collection of buildings, list the name of that development too. In the field labeled Year Built, provide the year that the building's original construction was completed. Do not include years of subsequent renovations, no matter how extensive those renovations may have been. You'll be able to clarify details of renovations later on in the owner package. HPD requests you clarify the building type because it can affect the amount allocated for utilities in the rent reasonableness determination. It can also clarify accessibility of the unit. Most New York apartments are classified as multifamily dwellings defined as structures containing more than one separate residential dwelling unit, the home or residence of one or more persons. Apartment buildings with more than 2 units fall into this category. It's important to HPD to know whether or not the unit has an elevator, as that will affect the amount of rent that will be deemed reasonable for the unit. In the second half of this page, HPD collects information on other government programs that the unit's associated with. HPD needs this information because other government programs may affect the rent that may be charged for the unit. Other government programs may also affect the unit's eligibility to participate in the HCV program. Additional supporting documents may be required if the unit is associated with other government programs. Review the Supporting Documents Checklist, Part 2, to see which documents may apply to you. Submit those required supporting documents to HPD along with your completed owner package. Under Other Programs, if the building or unit is currently participating in any of the programs listed, check the corresponding box. If not, leave this checklist blank. Page 8 of the owner package has 2 sections: Owner Information and Proposed Rent for the HCV unit. First, we'll cover the Owner Information section. Here, HPD collects information about the owner to check their eligibility for the HCV program. This information is used for issuing the Housing Assistance Payment Contract, which clarifies the agreement between HPD and owners and their HCV program. Provide the legal name of the owner. The owner is the party, individual or business, that is listed as the owner on the deed. Suppose the owner on the deed is an individual not belonging to a larger ownership company. In that case, their legal name as it appears on their Social Security card should be listed here. Property managers cannot be designated as the HAP payee. It must be the building owner. Corporations or businesses' legal business should list their legal business name here, exactly as it's registered with the IRS. Similarly, the owner should provide their personal or business address as it's registered with the Social Security Administration or Internal Revenue Service, respectively. Owners of a larger business or property management company should provide their business address. Individuals should provide their mailing address. Information provided in this section must match what is provided later on the owner package in the City of New York Substitute W-9 form. If the information doesn't match, processing delays are likely to occur. For help completing the Substitute W-9, review the 2 pages of instructions provided with the Substitute W-9 in the owner package. Those instructions provide step-by-step guidance on how to correctly complete your W-9 form. For any follow-up questions HPD may have about your owner package once submitted, list the contact name and information of an individual who can confirm the information provided on this form. A few lines below, HPD also requests a contact who will be available to coordinate the unit's inspection once the owner package is processed. HPD will call to schedule the inspections once the owner package is processed. List the information of the individual they should call or text to do the scheduling. If the unit to be rented is vacant, this individual must be able to arrange for the inspector to gain access to the unit and any common areas of the building to complete the required inspection. In this section, HPD also requests details about the owner's relationship with the tenant. If there's a close family relationship, federal regulations require additional documentation to be provided, specifically a reasonable accommodation request form. It can be found online at the link below. The next section on page 8, Proposed Rent for HCV Unit, asks how much you'll rent the unit. List the monthly rent you'll charge for the unit. If the tenant participating in the HCV program already lives in the unit and plans to use their newly awarded voucher to stay in their current apartment, provide the current lease's terms in this section, the current monthly rent, and the security deposit requested upon initial lease signing. Clarify if the proposed or current lease is for a 1 or 2 year term. HPD has to confirm the rent you'll charge is reasonable based on the information you'll provide here and on the next page and the current rents charged for similar units in the neighborhood. In addition to confirming the reasonableness of the proposed rents, HPD must confirm affordability. In the margins, you'll find a link to HPD's payment standards chart, which shows the maximum amount HPD may pay for rent and utilities for apartments of a given size. If the rent exceeds the maximum amount HPD is able to pay, the tenant may be allowed to pay the difference if it is affordable. However, in this case, federal regulations prohibit tenant payments that exceed 40% of their income. If the tenant is responsible for any other costs associated with move-in, list the total costs at the bottom of the section explaining the additional costs or costs. Owners can only charge reasonable fees for things that are spelled out in the lease agreement. No other additional cost to the tenant will be approved. Later on in the owner package, you'll have to complete the New York City Substitute W-9 form with the same information you provided on the pages covered in this video. With the W-9 form are 2 pages of instructions on how to complete it. Read those carefully to avoid delays processing your owner package. Check out the other videos in this series for more detailed instructions on how to complete other pages of the owner package. Thanks again for your interest in participating in HPD's Housing Choice Voucher Program.